In the deep heart of Africa, nestled between towering trees and flowing rivers, lay the village of Alojola. It was a place of peace, where the laughter of children mixed with the rustling of leaves, and the wise elders told stories under the moonlit sky. But in this quiet village, there was one person who stood out, Adiku, the woman with 2 heads. Her body was like that of any other woman, strong and graceful, but upon her shoulders sat 2 heads, each with a mind of its own. One head, called Abeni, was adventurous and full of energy. She loved to explore the village, talk to people, and dance under the stars. The other head, Connie, was quiet and shy. She preferred to stay indoors, away from curious eyes, and found comfort in the shadows of their home. For years, the villagers whispered about Adiku. Some believed she was a blessing, sent by the gods to bring wisdom. Others feared her, believing she carried an ancient curse. But Adiku had learned to live with the stars and the memoirs. The real challenge was living with herself. Every day was a battle between her 2 heads. When the sun rose and the village came to life, Abeni would insist, "Let's go to the market. I want to taste fresh fruit and hear the latest gossip." But Connie would sigh, "No. I don't want people staring. Let's stay inside. It's safe here." When the drums called for celebration, Abeni would try to pull them outside. "The festival is tonight. I want to dance, to laugh, to feel free." Connie would protest, "Why must you always drag us into trouble? We don't belong among them." Even the simplest decisions became an argument. What food to eat, what clothes to wear, when to sleep, when to wake, it was never easy. Their mother, Mama Nkechi, had learned to stay patient, gently reminding them to compromise. But the older Adiku grew, the harder it became. Everything changed the night of the Abaliwe festival. The village was filled with the scent of roasted yams and the sound of drums beating in the distance. Abeni was eager to join the celebration, but Connie refused. "I won't go," Connie said firmly. "But it's time," Abeni argued. "We can't hide forever." Adiku walked into the festival as the villagers were dancing, singing and drumming. It was a joyful moment. But, for the first time, Adiku felt something inside her snap. Her body stiffened. A sharp pain ran down her spine. Her hands moved on their own, grabbing at her own throat. It felt as if her heads were fighting for control, each trying to silence the other. The struggle grew more violent. Her legs faltered. Her vision blurred. Then she collapsed. The villagers rushed to help, but by the time they reached her, Adiku lay breathless, her eyes filled with fear. Orisa, the village storyteller, stepped forward, his old eyes filled with knowing. "It has begun," he whispered. Adiku's collapse sent waves of fear through the village. The elders gathered, whispering to one another, their faces lined with worry. Orisa, the ancient storyteller, stood before the villagers and said, "She is battling herself," he murmured. "And if she does not find balance, she will be lost." But no one understood just how dangerous that battle truly was. Adiku later woke up, but as the days passed, Abeni and Connie's fights became worse. Each head refused to listen to the other, and something terrifying began to happen. Adiku's body stopped working properly. One morning, as she tried to lift a clay pot, her right arm obeyed Abeni, eager to move, while her left arm, controlled by Connie, stayed stiff at her side. The pot shattered to the ground. Another day, she tried to walk, but her left leg wouldn't move. She tipped over, landing hard in the dirt. Her movements were no longer her own. One head would force her forward, the other would hold her back. The villagers watched in horror. Adiku was no longer one person. She was 2 forces fighting inside the same body. Then came the night of the mist. The conflict inside her had reached its peak. The village was asleep when the first screams tore through the air. Adiku had woken to find her body trembling. Her limbs were moving without her control. Abeni's desire for freedom clashed against Connie's fear of the unknown. And suddenly, Adiko wasn't herself anymore.